that song they sing in Nigeria? God of miracle, now my... I wish this was Friday. That's a prayer we're all praying, those of us who are sports lovers. Like, there may be a miracle for us to go to the World Cup. As Kyrie would say, we couldn't do the usual qualifiers. We're knocked out of the playoff. Maybe this miracle will happen with this petition against DR Congo. Well, we're also going to talk about preparations and the match that was played yesterday. Cecilia Morgan is here, a sports anchor. Cecilia is the God of Nigeria.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, God of Nigeria.
We always bring God into our matter.
Of course.
Please don't blame us. We've seen shake in the hands of government, so we have to go to God.
I mean, prayers without faith or without work is actually nothing, right?
Tell
Because you have to work towards it, right? I mean, you understand the drift, right? Okay, now, before we even qualified for, for the playoffs, it was also, Eritrea to withdraw, prayers and prayers. I mean, we need to get tired. Where do we even start this from? This is the situation.
What God cannot do does not
exist. Yes, I know that, but you have to pray and also work, and then that's when it works out.
And there's grace.
And there's also grace. But sometimes people don't just deserve grace. Okay, I didn't say that. All right, now let's talk about the whole issue here.
You already dropped the bombshell. Who does not deserve grace?
Just said some people.
We understand the place of works, but we believe in even our coach. Our coach that is not in Nigeria, he was complained that they were using voodoo against us.
I know.
So we're very spiritual people.
The pathway to the voodoo. I'm sure it's karma that is actually catching up with DR Congo now. The voodoo stuff.
So tell us what's playing now with this DR Congo issue.
Yeah, but the issue is DR Congo, in their own national law, you can have dual nationality. So, most of the players, I mean, according to NFF Secretary General Mohamed Sanusi, we spoke extensively yesterday evening, when we saw the story everywhere. I'm like, are you sure you did this interview? He said, yes, he actually granted it. So he broke it down on how it works, that FIFA will not be faulted on this. FIFA were giving information that they work with. Under FIFA rules, I mean, it doesn't apply to them whether you have dual nationality or not, as long as you have a passport of that country, and then of course you're eligible to play for that country. You haven't been capped with another country, in a competitive game, so you can actually play. But in Congolese law, DR Congo, under their own law, you can't be a dual citizen. So that's where the issue is now. Apparently, Sanusi was saying that FIFA was actually deceived, literally, into accepting those guys. But then, if you look at FIFA rules, it doesn't apply. So FIFA does not have rights over a sovereign nation. It's what is given. That's what they work with. Now, how do you not expect FIFA to turn around and say, okay, no, we will take out DR Congo and accept Nigeria based on the fact that some players that were fielded were ineligible? But then a probe is going to be carried out. NFF have already submitted their own report concerning this. So after submitting it, FIFA cannot look at it, and then maybe DR Congo can now admit that, oh, we made a mistake, we lied or something. But I don't know what is going to happen. But the thing is, the NFF just wants FIFA to know and understand that what DR Congo did is actually wrong from their own laws, from their own country laws. So the issue is about 9 or 6 of the players, one Bissaka and the like, some of them, European passport, have a European passport, some Dutch nationality.
So let's be clear. Slow down. Let's be clear a bit. So when you say against their own law, is it that in DRC's laws, it says that if you have dual nationality, you can't play for their national team?
You can't have dual nationality and play for their nationality. That's what the...
So who's initiating this petition? It's the NFF?
Yes, Nigerian Football Federation, yes, actually,
So on a scale of 9, of 1 to 10, what are the chances of the NFF petition getting through and getting a favorable judgment from the FIFA Ethics Committee?
That's where the problem is right now, because it's dicey. So NFF is not looking forward to maybe getting any... They just want to put it out there that this is what went on. So then, and see if there's going to be a favorable result. Well, I mean, from my own understanding, from what I think, I'm sorry, but I think this may not work, because Nigeria were not actually the only team that DR Congo played. They played Cameroon at the group stage. Do you understand? Okay, fine, Nigeria was the only country that submitted, a report, filed a formal report against DR Congo to FIFA. So now, if FIFA wants to make a decision, so what happens to all the games that DR Congo have played?
Fantastic question.
So we go back there because that's where I think that this may not be favorable to anybody. It may just be that like a kind of, maybe DR Congo may be sanctioned, but maybe cancelling all their games. I don't know where it's going to work. Okay, fine, they played Nigeria last, in the playoffs. But how did they qualify for the playoffs to start with?
Thank you, Cecilia. But let's be clear. Nigeria went to read DRC's constitution. Like we went and we looked through and said,
yes.
No, I give it, for that I give it to Nigeria.
Yes.
That's one. Two, what if the government of
Nigeria is a good litigant.
I mean, think about the work that was done. Secondly, what if the DRC government says we're issuing an executive order and saying and we're even backdating that you can now have dual citizenship? But that is another bit entirely. The main point is, yesterday, the Super Eagles played a friendly against Egypt, because this is a team we're actually, trying to get into the World Cup. I'm not going to say by hook or by crook, but just at least trying to get them into the World Cup eventually. Again, I will ask that question, Cecilia. Does the Super Eagles as a whole, the performance we've seen, do we deserve this, or should we just focus on building a team, try to get the AFCON and just,
That's what I thought too. I think we should focus on the AFCON because I think this is actually a distraction. The story has been on, it's been flying around for a long time. It's just when, the NFF Secretary General now, confirmed it, and of course, told us formally that yes, they filed, reports to FIFA. That's when we started taking it seriously. I didn't take it seriously from the beginning. I'm like, that's their own laws. Whatever they submitted to FIFA, that's what FIFA work with. So you can't come around and say, oh, because you submitted, wrong one, or whatever the case may be, then you start, going into probe or anything with their dual nationality issue. But that aside, let's talk about the friendly that was played. Yeah, that's more important now. We are building to the African Cup of Nations. We are thinking that if maybe, just maybe, after missing out of the World Cup, because I don't have the hope. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to break Nigerians' hearts. Those who are still hoping for a miracle that will go to the USA, Canada, and Mexico for the World Cup. I'm not trying to break anybody's heart, but let's just focus on this first. The World Cup is still in June next year. The playoffs is in March, so we have ample time. The Nations Cup is just, it's starting this Sunday, this weekend. So let's focus on that. Now, back to the game that was played on last night against Egypt. I think it was a very good game because we have most of our players. As at Sunday morning, Francis Zoho was the first to arrive, followed by Stanley Wambali. He had 2. Then later in the evening, you have like 14. Then, as at when they had their first training session, we didn't have up to 24 players. But their second training session on Tuesday morning, we had 24 players already in camp, which was a plus. Before Usman Mohammed joined them, now 25 players in camp. Then Chukwueze later came in last night. Victor Osimhen and Moses Simon are still not there. I'm sure maybe they'll just fly straight to Fez. There's no point coming to Cairo and then before they go to Fez in Morocco where Nigeria played the group stage game. So I think what they played yesterday was actually good based on the information I just gave on the fact that we didn't have the full complement of the players in the first training session. And the second training session, we had 24 of those players in the morning of, of your game day, which usually don't happen. Yes, it's a warm-up game against Egypt. It ended 2-1 in favor, of course, of the Egyptian. And the fact that we have this connection between Zaidou Sanusi and Chigozie Awazim, I love that. They combined for the equalizer that Nigeria got in that one. And if you look at the first half, it started with a 3-5-2 formation in the first half. Then second quarter, it reverted to what he usually do, which is the 4-4-2 formation. And the new players that came in, I thought they gave a good account of themselves. Looking at that second half when he brought in Amas Obasogie, who was in goal, he brought him on. I was happy to actually see him because we needed to see these other goalkeepers just in case, because Stanley Wambali, to me, I think is a ticket-time bomb because of, the injury and everything. So he coming in, Shemi Ajayi, Siri Desas, Demola Lukman, Bruno Yemachi, Tochukwu Nandi, these guys coming on in that second half. That also actually, he had bites. I love the fact that we had possession. There was cohesion. It wasn't looking as if we're playing together for the first time. So those new debuts and those players that are making their debut, I think they actually gave a good account of themselves, in this particular game. So I think it's a step, really. The Super Eagles we saw last night, I was happy with the way they played, the way they head on. And even, the coach, I don't know where the coach anger was coming from. I thought this is just a warm-up game. Yes, there were some calls that could have been in favor of Nigeria, which he wasn't happy with. But it's just a warm-up game, so he didn't need to get that card.
By the voodoo incident. Let's talk about another part that we don't want to hear. I know you have relationships at the official level, so you guys are on the spots there. So I expect that you know these guys. I hope we're not going to hear anything about allowances and bonuses.
It's not going to happen at this Nations Cup. I'm confident because
Cecilia, do you want to review?
Can you
repeat that again, please? The camera should be on Cecilia, please. Not on us. The camera be on you so that we'll hold you accountable.
Yeah, there's so much drama going on, right? This is what we don't want to have again. The drama that happened in the playoffs, before we played Gabon. Yes, we won the game, but I think that actually affected a little bit of the game against DR Congo. So this is
really, Cecilia.
This is the Nations Cup. This is the Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, we're going for the win, and then that there's so many things at stake. I don't know if they can borrow a leaf from what the Super Falcons, what they did. Super Falcons were not in the best form. When I mean form, in terms of administratively, in terms of welfare, in terms of up to Jesse, anything you can think about, they were not there, even preparations to the build-up. But they just went there. It was all business. And even the coach wasn't even having a contract. So it was that bad. So they went there and they did the business and they came out with the trophy. So I think this time around, I think the Super Eagles would definitely want to do that. This is a tournament. I mean, with what the backlogs that have been cleared, and with the NSC saying that when it comes to salaries of the coach, they are in charge of that. They're ready to do all that. I think they would not want to disappoint Nigerians.
I'm wondering if Nigerians will agree with you on that score about the allowances the last time affecting the performance. You've commended the players for showing up despite being debutants. But are we going to see consistency? Because I've also been following part of the conversation, and there are concerns that the resumption to camp is late with internationals not resuming because FIFA is saying they can only come 1 week at a time. And so we've not seen, doesn't that affect cohesion?
No, that's what I said. I talked about the fact that the game we watched yesterday, I mean, there was you won't even know that these players are playing together for the first time. So we had that. That's why they are professionals, really.
We're totally out of time, apparently. So for my own is that for Bukola to notice something is of national importance. Bukola is not a sports person. For Bukola to notice it,
we'll come to the end of this segment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll put you on the spot. Thank you so much, guys.